Bandeham Shri Guru Shiyata Parakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Sya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raganatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sabadutam Parijana Sahidam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Paran Sahagana Lalita Shivashikam Vitam Sya Om Ajnana Timarandasya Yananshana Shalakaya Chakshuram Milidam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Gorva Bistam Supurakam Gurganara Sisha Sambhushitam Chintya Chintya Samasta Veda Nipanam Shri Rupa Patanugam Govinda Abhidamudjwalam Bharatanum Bhaktyan Vidam Sundaram Bande Vishwaguruncha Divyad Bhagavat Prem Navi Bija Pranam Devam Divyatanum Suchandavaranam Balarka Chelanchitam Sandrananda Puram Sadeka Baranam Vairagya Vidyam Buddhim Sri Siddhanta Nidhim Subhakti Lasitam Saraswatanam Baram Vanditam Shubharam Madeka Sharanam Nyashishvara Shidaram Bansha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namo Mahabharanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gauratavishe Namah. So we're hearing from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita by Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami, translation and commentary by Srila Prabhupada. This is Madhya-lila, chapter 22, the process of devotional service. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is explaining, speaking with Sri Sanatan Goswami, and he's speaking of the three aspects of devotional service. Sambandha, the relationship which we have with the Lord, because just like one has to know what is the destination, what is the relationship, so that one has with the Lord, and to be acquainted with the process of devotional service. Then this chapter 22 is about abhidheya, which is engaging oneself in devotional service. It's called the process of devotional service, so it refers to Mahaprabhu speaking to Sanatan Goswami about how to engage oneself in devotional service. And then the third aspect is prayojana, the goal. So we know Krishna Prema is prayojana. Krishna Prema prayojana, the goal is love of Godhead. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is speaking with Sanatan Goswami, and now we're in the chapter of the process of devotional service. Bande Sri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Tam Karunarnavam Kalavapi Ati Gudeyam Bhaktir Yena Prakashita. I offer my respectful obeisances unto Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He is an ocean of divine mercy, and although the subject matter of Bhakti Yoga is very confidential, he has nonetheless manifested it so nicely, even in this age of Kali, the age of quarrel. Jaya Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. All glories to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. All glories to Sri Nityananda Prabhu. All glories to Sri Advaita Chandra, and all glories to all the devotees of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Aita Kohilun Sambandha Tatvara Vichar Veda Sharire Upadeshe Krishna Egshar. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, I have described one's relationship with Krishna in various ways. This is the subject matter of the Vedas. Krishna is the center of all activities. Ebeko Heshuna abhidheya lakan Jahoite Pai Krishna Krishna Premadan. Now I shall speak about the characteristics of devotional service by which one can attain the shelter of Krishna and his loving service. Krishna Bhakti abhidheya sarva shastrikoi ateva munigan korijache nisjoy. A human being's activities should be centered only on devotional service to Sri Krishna. That is the verdict of all Vedic literatures, and all saintly people have firmly concluded this. A human being's activities should be centered only on devotional service to Lord Krishna. That is the verdict of all Vedic literatures, and all saintly people have firmly concluded this. Shrutir mata prishta dishati bhavad aradhana vidim yatama tuarvani smritir apitata bhakti bhagani puranadya jeva sahaja nivahas te tadanuga atha satyam gyatam murahara bhavan eva sharanam. When the mother Veda Shruti, when the mother Veda Shruti is questioned as to whom to worship, she says that you are the only Lord and worshipable object. Similarly, the corollaries of the Shruti Shastras, the Smriti Shastras, give the same instructions, just like sisters. The Puranas, which are like brothers, follow in the footsteps of their mother. O enemy of the demon Mora, the conclusion is that you are the only shelter. Now I've understood this in truth. Advaya Gyan Tattva Krishna Swayam Bhagavan Swarup Shakti Rupe Tara Hoy Abastan. Krishna is the non-dual absolute truth, the supreme personality of Godhead. Although he is one, he maintains different personal expansions and energies for his pastimes. Swamsa Vibhinamsha Rupe Hoya Vistar Ananta Vaikunta Brahmande Korana Bihar. Krishna expands himself in many forms. Some of them are personal expansions, and some are separate expansions. Thus he performs pastimes in both the spiritual and material worlds. The spiritual worlds are the Vaikuntha planets, and the material universes are the Brahmandas, gigantic globes governed by Lord Brahma. Swamsa Vishtara Chatur Vyuha Avastaragan Vivinamsa Jivatara Shaktite Ganan. Expansions of his personal self, like the quadruple manifestations of Shankarshan, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, and Vasudeva, descend as incarnations from Vaikuntha to this material world. The separated expansions are the living entities. Although they are expansions of Krishna, they are counted among his different potencies. Se vibhinam shajiva duita prakar ek nitya mukta ek nitya samsar. The living entities, jivas, are divided into two categories. Some are eternally liberated, and others are eternally conditioned. Nitya Mukta Nitya Krishna Charane Unmuka Krishna Parishad Nam Bunji Seva Sukha. Those who are eternally liberated are always awake to Krishna consciousness, and they render transcendental loving service at the feet of Lord Krishna. They are to be considered the eternal associates of Krishna, and they are eternally enjoying the happiness of serving Krishna. Nitya Bandha Krishna Hoite Nitya Bahirmug Nitya Samsara Bunje Narakadidug. Apart from the ever-liberated devotees, there are the conditioned souls who always turn away from the service of the Lord. They are perpetually condemned in this material world and are subjected to the material tribulations brought about by different bodily forms and hellish conditions. Sedoshe Maya Pisache Danda Koritare Adyatmikari Tapatraya Tare Jarimare. Due to his being opposed to Krishna consciousness, the conditioned soul, is punished by the witch of the external energy, Maya. He is thus ready to suffer the threefold miseries. Miseries brought about by the body and mind, the inimical behavior of other living entities, and natural disturbances caused by the demigods. Kamakroder dasha haya tara latikai brahmate jari sadhu vaidyapai taru upadesha mantre pisache palai Krishna bhakti pai tabe Krishna nikata jai. In this way the conditioned soul becomes the servant of lusty desires, and when these are not fulfilled, one becomes a servant of anger and continues to be kicked by the external energy Maya. Wandering and wandering throughout the universe, one may by chance get the association of a devotee physician whose instructions and hymns make the witch of the external energy flee. The conditioned soul thus gets into touch with devotional service to Lord Krishna, and in this way one can approach nearer and nearer to the Lord. Kamadinam katina katida palita dorni deshas. Kamadinam katina katida palita dorni deshas. Tesham jatamai na karuna na trapa no pashanti usrijaitan atayadupate samvratam labda buddhis tvam ayata sharanam abhayam mam niyung shvatmadashe. O my Lord, there is no limit to the unwanted odors of lusty desires. Although I have rendered these desires so much service, they have not shown any mercy to me. I have not been ashamed to serve them, nor have I even desired to give them up. O my Lord, O head of the Yadu dynasty, recently, however, my intelligence has been awakened, and now I am giving them up. Due to transcendental intelligence, I now refuse to obey the unwanted orders of these desires, and I now come to you to surrender myself at your fearless lotus feet. Kindly engage me in your personal service and save me. Krishna Bhakti Hoy Abhidheya Pradhan Bhakti Mukha Nirikshaka Karma Yoga Gyan. Devotional service to Krishna is the chief function of the living entity. There are different methods for the liberation of the conditioned soul: karma, gyan, yoga, and bhakti, but all are dependent on bhakti. A sabsadaner ati tuchabal Krishna bhakti bina taha dite nare fall. Without devotional service, all other methods for spiritual self-realization are weak and insignificant. Unless one comes to the devotional center, unless one comes to the devotional service of Lord Krishna, Jnana and Yoga cannot give the desired results. So only by bhakti will one actually be able to come in contact with Krishna. There may be different kinds of methods for liberation, but one needs bhakti to actually come in contact with Krishna himself. Other things may lead to some temporary form of relief, as it says, Krishna bhakti nishkamata eva shanta bhukti mukti siddhi kam sakaliya shanta. That this verse says only a devotee of the Lord is nishkam, without any desires, therefore peaceful. In other processes, one has some desire other than the service of the Lord. Therefore, A verse mentions that how one is haunted by a witch, pisachi, by other processes lead to the satisfaction of desire for enjoyment, desire for liberation, desire for mystic cities or yoga perfection. Naishkarmyam api achuta bhavavarjitam nashobhate jnanam alam niranjanam kutapuna shashvad abhadram ishvare na charpitam karma yad apiya karanam. When pure service is beyond all material affinity, but is not dedicated to the Lord, it does not appear very beautiful, although it is knowledge without a material tinge. What then is the use of fruitive activities which are naturally painful from the beginning and transient by nature if they are not utilized for the devotional service of the Lord? How can they be very attractive? So here is mentioning that even knowledge, if one acquires knowledge, but is not dedicated to the Lord, that will not appear very satisfying or attractive. And if that is not attractive, then what to speak of mundane activities, which by nature are kind of ugly to begin with. So, tapasvino dana paraya shashvino manasvino mantra vidanda sumangala shemam na vindanti vinayad arpanam tasmai subhadra shavase namo nama. Those who perform severe austerities and penances, those who give away all their possessions out of charity, those who are very famous for their auspicious activity, those who are engaged in meditation and mental speculation, and even those who are very expert in reciting the Vedic mantras, are not able to obtain any auspicious results, although they are engaged in auspicious activities, if they do not dedicate their activities to the service of the Supreme Lord. I therefore repeatedly offer my respectful obeisances unto the Lord, whose glories are always auspicious. Okay, so maybe let me see one thing. So I wanted to just read a little bit from Krishna book, since today is Janmastami. Let's see. Jai Shila, Jai. Here's something from Krishna book by Srila Prabhupada. This is chapter 1, the advent of Lord Krishna. Once the world was overburdened by the unnecessary defense force of different kings who were actually demons but were posing themselves as the royal order. At that time, the whole world became perturbed, and the predominating deity of this earth, known as Bhumi, went to see Lord Brahma to tell of her calamities due to the demoniac kings. Bhumi assumed the shape of a cow and presented herself before Lord Brahma with tears in her eyes. She was bereaved and was weeping just to invoke the Lord's compassion. She related the calamitous position of the earth, and after hearing this, Lord Brahma became very much aggrieved, and he at once started for the ocean of milk where Lord Vishnu resides. Lord Brahma was accompanied by the demigods headed by Lord Shiva, and Bhumi also followed. Arriving on the shore of the Milk Ocean, Lord Brahma began to pacify Lord Vishnu, who had formerly saved the earthly planet by assuming the transcendental form of a boar. In the Vedic mantras, there is a particular type of prayer called Purusha Shukta. Generally, the demigods offer their obeisances unto Vishnu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, by chanting the Purusha Shukta. It is understood herein that the predominating deity of every planet can see the Supreme Lord of this universe, Brahma, whenever there is some disturbance on his planet. And Brahma can approach the Supreme Lord Vishnu not by seeing him directly, but by standing on the shore of the ocean of milk. There is a planet within this universe called Svetadvip, and on that planet there is an ocean of milk. It is understood from various Vedic literatures, that just as there is the ocean of salt water on this planet, there are various kinds of oceans on other planets. Somewhere there is an ocean of milk. Somewhere there is an ocean of oil. Somewhere there are oceans of liquor and of many other types of liquids. The Purusha Shukta is the standard prayer which the demigods recite to appease the Supreme Lord, Kshirodakshayi Vishnu. Because he is lying on the ocean of milk, he is called Kshirodakashayi Vishnu. He is the form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, through whom all the incarnations within this universe appear. After all the demigods offered the Purusha Shukta prayer to the Supreme Lord, they apparently heard no response. Then Lord Brahma personally sat in meditation, and there was a message transmission from Lord Vishnu to Brahma. Brahma then broadcast the message to the demigods. That is a system of receiving Vedic knowledge. The Vedic knowledge is received first by Brahma from the Supreme Lord through the medium of the heart, as stated in the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam. Tene Brahma Hridaya Adhikavaye. The transcendental knowledge of the Vedas was transmitted to Lord Brahma through the heart. Here also, in the same way, only Brahma could understand the message transmitted by Lord Vishnu, and he broadcast it to the demigods for their immediate action. The message was this: the Supreme Lord himself, who would appear on the earth very soon, along with his supreme powerful potencies. And as long as he remained on the earth planet to execute his mission of annihilating the demons and establishing the devotees, his mission of annihilating the demons and establishing the devotees, the Supreme Lord would appear on the earth very soon, along with his supreme powerful potencies. And as long as he remained on the earth planet to execute his mission of annihilating the demons and establishing the devotees, the demigods should also remain there to assist him. They should all immediately take birth in the family of the Yadu dynasty, wherein the Lord would also appear in the due course of time. The Lord himself, Krishna, would personally appear as the son of Vasudeva, as the Supreme Lord himself, Krishna, would personally appear as the son of Vasudeva. Before his appearance, all the demigods, along with their wives, should appear as different pious families in the world, just to assist the Lord in executing his mission. The exact word used here is tatpriyartam, which means the demigods should appear on the earth in order to please the Lord. In other words, any living entity who lives only to satisfy the Lord is a demigod. The demigods were further informed that Ananta, the plenary position of Lord Krishna, who is maintaining the universal planets by extending his millions of hoods, would also appear on earth before Lord Krishna's appearance. They were also informed that the external potency of Vishnu, Maya, with whom all the conditioned souls are enamored, would also appear by the order of the Supreme Lord just to execute his purpose. After instructing and pacifying all the demigods as well as Bhumi with sweet words, Lord Brahma, the father of all Prajapatis, or progenitors of the universal population, departed for his own abode, the highest material planet called Brahmaloka. The leader of the Yadu dynasty, King Surasena, was ruling over the country known as Mathura, wherein lies the city of Mathura, as well as the district known as Surasena, which was named after him. On account of the rule of King Surasena, Mathura became the capital city of all the kings of the Yadus. Mathura was also made the capital of the kings of the Yadu dynasty because the Yadus were a very pious family and knew that Mathura is the place where Lord Sri Krishna lives eternally, just as he also lives in Dwarka. Once upon a time, Vasudeva, the son of Surasena, just after marrying Devaki, was going home on his chariot with his newly wedded wife. The father of Devaki, known as Devaka, had contributed a sufficient dowry because he was very affectionate towards his daughter. He had contributed hundreds of chariots completely decorated with gold equipment. At that time, Kamsa, the son of Ugrasena, in order to please his sister Devaki, had voluntarily taken the reins of the horses of Vasudeva's chariot and was driving. According to the custom of the Vedic civilization, when a girl is married, the brother takes the sister and brother-in-law to their home. Because the newly married girl may feel too much separation from her father's family, the brother goes with her until she reaches her father-in-law's house. The full dowry contributed by Devaki was, the full dowry contributed by Devaka was as follows: 400 elephants, fully decorated with golden garlands, 15,000 decorated horses, and 1,800 chariots. He also arranged for 200 beautiful girls to follow his daughter. The Kshatriya system of marriage, still current in India, dictates that when a Kshatriya is married, a few dozen of the bride's young girlfriends, in addition to the bride, go to the house of the king. The followers of the queen are called maidservants, but actually they act as friends of the queen. The practice is prevalent from time immemorial, traceable at least to the time before the advent of Lord Krishna 5,000 years ago. So Vasudeva brought home another 200 beautiful girls along with his wife Devaki. While the bride and bridegroom were passing along on the chariot, there were different kinds of musical instruments playing to indicate the auspicious moment. There were conch shells, bugles, drums, and kettle drums. Combined together, they were vibrating a nice concert. The procession was passing very pleasingly, and Kamsa was driving the chariot when suddenly there was a miraculous sound vibrated from the sky, which especially announced to Kamsa, "Kamsa, you are such a fool. You are driving the chariot of your sister and your brother-in-law, but you do not know that the 8th child of this sister will kill you." Kamsa was the son of Ugrasena of the Bhoja dynasty. It is said that Kamsa was the most demoniac of all the Bhoja dynasty kings. Immediately after hearing the prophecy from the sky, he caught hold of Devaki's hair and was just about to kill her with his sword. Vasudeva was astonished at Kamsa's behavior, and in order to pacify the cruel, shameless brother-in-law, he began to speak as follows, with great reason and evidence. He said, "My dear brother-in-law, Kamsa, you are the most famous king of the Bhoja dynasty, and people know that you are the greatest warrior and a valiant king. How is it that you are so infuriated that you are prepared to kill a woman who is your own sister at this auspicious time of her marriage? Why should you be so much afraid of death? Death is already born along with your birth. From the very day you took your birth, you began to die. Suppose you are 25 years old. That means that you have already died 25 years. Every moment, every second you are dying. Why then should you be so much afraid of death? Final death is inevitable. You may die either today or in 100 years. You cannot avoid death. Why should you be so much afraid? Actually, death means annihilation of the present body. As soon as the present body stops functioning and mixes with the 5 elements of material nature, the living entity within the body accepts another body according to his present actions and reactions. It is just like when a man walks on the street, he puts forward his foot, and when he is confident that his foot is situated on solid ground, he lifts the other foot. In this way, one after another, the bodies change and the soul transmigrates. See how the plant worms change from one twig to another so carefully. Similarly, the living entity changes his body as soon as the higher authorities decide on his next body. As long as the living entity is conditioned within this material world, one must take material bodies one after another. One's next particular body is offered by the laws of nature according to the actions and reactions of the life. The body is exactly like one of the bodies which we always see in dreams. During our dream of sleep, we create so many bodies according to mental creation. We have seen gold and we have also seen a mountain. So in a dream, we can see a golden mountain by combining the two ideas. Sometimes in dreams we see that we have a body which is flying in the sky, and at that time we completely forget our present body. Similarly, these bodies are changing. When you have one body, you forget the past body. During a dream, we may make contact with so many new kinds of bodies, but when we are awake, we forget them all. And actually, these material bodies are the creations of our mental activities. But at the present moment, we do not recollect our past bodies. So that's also stated in Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna says to Arjuna, Krishna says, I instructed the sun god Vivaswan, and he instructed this science of devotional service to his son Ikshvaku. And then Arjuna questions Krishna. He says, well, wait a minute, you're much younger than the sun god. How could you instruct a sun god? You're much, he's very old, you're not old. So then Krishna says to Arjuna, many lives both you and I have taken. I can remember all of them, but you cannot. So that is really what's happening with us. We have, we are forgetting. Here it says, when you have one body, you forget the past body. So that's what's happening. It wouldn't be a very pleasant situation if you could remember the past bodies. You have enough trouble with just this one. The nature of the mind is flickering. Sometimes it accepts something and immediately it rejects the same thing. Accepting and rejecting is the process of the mind in contact with the 5 objects of sense gratification: form, taste, smell, sound, and touch. In the speculative way, the mind comes in touch with the objects of sense gratification. And when the living entity desires a particular type of body, he gets it. Therefore, the body is an offering by the laws of material nature. The living entity accepts a body and comes out again into the material world to enjoy or suffer according to the construction of the body. Unless we have a particular type of body, we cannot enjoy or suffer according to our mental proclivities inherited from the previous life. The particular type of body is actually offered to us according to our mental condition at the time of death. Bhagavad Gita says, Yam yam vapi smaram bhavam jajat yante kalevaram tam tam evaite konteya sada tad bhava bhavita. That if we talk about karma, really what's happening during your lifetime, you're engaged in so many activities, and those activities are creating a particular kind of consciousness. Your mind and your activities, it's creating a particular kind of consciousness. And that consciousness will form around you, and then that consciousness will take you to your next body. Your next body will form around that consciousness which you have created by your own activities in this life. So yam yam vapi smaram bhavam jajat yanti kalevaram tam tam evaite konteya sada tad bhava bhavita. Krishna said. Then that will take you in a particular direction, and then your desires will awaken at the time of death, and then you'll get a new body according to your consciousness. So one has to understand that, for just mundane enjoyment, one doesn't need a human body to be able to satisfy that. So one should be a little bit particular in what one, in engagement, especially devotional service. That'll awaken the actual spiritual, the spiritual desires of the soul. The luminous planets, like the sun, moon, or stars, reflect themselves in different types of reservoirs, like water, oil, or ghee. The reflection moves according to the movement of the reservoir. The reflection of the moon is on the water, and the moving water makes the moon also appear to be moving, but actually the moon is not moving. Similarly, by mental concoction, the living entity attains different kinds of bodies, although actually he has no connection with such bodies. But on account of illusion, being enchanted by the influence of Maya, the living entity thinks that he belongs to a particular type of body. That is the way of conditioned life. Suppose a living entity is now in a human form of body. He thinks that he belongs to the human community or a particular country or a particular place. He identifies himself in that way and unnecessarily prepares for another body, which is not required by him. Such desires and mental concoctions are the cause of different types of bodies. The covering influence of material nature is so strong that the living entity is satisfied in whatever body he gets, and he identifies with that body with great pleasure. Therefore, I beg to request you not to be overwhelmed by the dictation of your mind and body. So this is Vasudeva speaking to Kamsa. Kamsa's heard a divine voice that says he'll be killed. This is on the chariot. Vasudeva and Devaki have just been married, and they're going to the father's house of Vasudeva, and at that time they hear a voice from the sky which says the 8th son of Devaki will kill Kamsa. Then he immediately becomes so much disturbed, and as mentioned, he's afraid of death, so he takes out his sword with the idea that he's going to kill Devaki. But then now Vasudeva begins speaking to Kamsa, and Vasudeva is very saintly. So what he's speaking to him, we hear, it's kind of amazing that he's speaking such deep Atma Tattva Gyan, such deep knowledge of the soul to this demoniac Kamsa who's ready to kill his sister. Vasudeva thus requested Kamsa not to be envious of his of his newly married sister. One should not be envious of anyone, because envy is the cause of fear, both in this world and in the next, when one is before Yamaraj, the Lord of punishment after death. Vasudeva appealed to Kamsa on behalf of Devaki, stating that she was his younger sister. He also appealed at an auspicious moment at the time of marriage. A younger sister or brother is supposed to be protected as one's child. The position is overall so delicate, Vasudeva reasoned, that if you kill her, it will go against your high reputation. So Vasudeva is telling him, you're respected, but if you kill your own sister on the day of her marriage, that's really going to deteriorate your reputation. You won't be so respected after that. It doesn't sound like a very, it sounds like a very infamous kind of very wrong activity. So people will be shocked by that, and your reputation will be shattered. In this way, Vasudeva tried to pacify Kamsa by good instruction as well as by philosophical discrimination. But Kamsa was not to be pacified because his association was demoniac. Because of his demoniac association, he was a demon, although born in a very high royal family. A demon never cares for any good instruction. He is just like a determined thief. One can give him moral instruction, but it will not be effective. Similarly, those who are demoniac or atheistic by nature can hardly assimilate any good instruction, however authorized it may be. That is the difference between demigods and demons. Those who can accept good instruction and try to live their lives in that way are called demigods, and those who are unable to take such good instruction are called demons. Failing in his attempt to pacify Kamsa, Vasudeva wondered how he would protect his wife Devaki. When there is imminent danger, an intelligent person should try to avoid the dangerous position as far as possible. But if, in spite of endeavoring by all intelligence, one fails to avoid the dangerous position, then there is no fault on one's part. One should try one's best to execute one's duties, but if the attempt fails, one is not at fault. Vasudeva thought of his wife as follows: for the present, let me save the life of Devaki. Then later on, if there are children, I shall see how to save them. He further thought, if in the future I get a child who can kill Kamsa, just as Kamsa is thinking, then both Devaki and the child will be saved, because the law of providence is inconceivable. But now, some way or other, let me save the will of Devaki. Let me save the life of, but now some way or other, let me save the life of Devaki. There is no certainty how a living entity contacts a certain type of body, but as there is no certainty how a blazing fire comes in contact with a certain type of wood in the forest. When there is a forest fire, it is experienced that the blazing fire sometimes leaps over one tree and catches another by the influence of the wind. Similarly, a living entity may be so you're in Oregon. When this big forest fire was blazing, was it anywhere near Oregon?
There was one maybe 40 miles outside of town.
The one in California was huge. It was really.
It wasn't so bad in Oregon this year. Not as bad as here.
All right. When there is a forest fire, it is experienced that the blazing fire sometimes leaps over one tree and catches another by the influence of the wind. Similarly, a living entity may be very careful in the matter of executing his duties, but it is still very difficult for him to know what type of body he is going to get in the next life. Maharaj Bharata was very faithfully executing the duties of self-realization, but by chance he developed temporary affection for a deer, and in his next life he had to accept the body of a deer. Vasudeva, after deliberating on how to save his wife, began to speak to Kamsa with great respect, although Kamsa was the most sinful man. Sometimes it happens that a most virtuous person like Vasudeva has to flatter a person like Kamsa, a most vicious person. That is the way of all diplomatic transactions. Although Vasudeva was deeply aggrieved, he smiled outwardly. He addressed the shameless Kamsa in that way because he was so atrocious. Vasudeva said to Kamsa, "My dear brother-in-law, please consider that you have no danger from your sister. You are awaiting some danger because you have heard a prophetic voice in the sky. But the danger is to come from the sons of your sister who are not present now. And who knows, there may or may not be sons in the future. Considering all this, you are safe for the present, nor is there any cause of fear from your sister. If there are any sons born of her, I promise that I shall present all of them to you for necessary action." Kamsa knew the value of Vasudeva's word of honor, and he was convinced by his arguments. For the time being, he desisted from the heinous killing of his sister. Thus Vasudeva was pleased and praised the decision of Kamsa. In this way, he returned to his home. Each year thereafter, in due course of time, Devaki gave birth to a child. Thus she gave birth to 8 male children, as well as 1 daughter. When the first son was born, Vasudeva kept his word of honor and immediately brought the child before Kamsa. It is said that Vasudeva was very much advanced and famous for his word of honor, and he wanted to maintain this born child. Vasudeva was very elevated and famous for his word of honor, and he wanted to maintain this fame. Although it was very painful for Vasudeva to hand over the newly born child, Kamsa was very glad to receive him, but he became a little compassionate with the behavior of Vasudeva. Thus, even this event is very exemplary for a great soul like Vasudeva. There is nothing considered to be painful in the course of discharging one's duty. A learned person like Vasudeva carries out his duties without hesitation. On the other hand, a demon like Kamsa never hesitates in committing any abominable action. It is said, therefore, that a saintly person can tolerate all kinds of miserable conditions of life. A learned man can discharge his duties without awaiting favorable circumstances. A heinous person like Kamsa can act in any sinful way, and a devotee can sacrifice everything to satisfy the Supreme Lord. Kamsa became satisfied by the actions of Vasudeva. He was surprised to see Vasudeva keeping his promise, and being compassionate upon him and pleased, he began to speak as follows: "My dear Vasudeva, you need not present this child to me. I am not in danger from this child. I have heard that the 8th child born of you and Devaki will kill me. Why should I accept this child unnecessarily? You can take him home." When Vasudeva was returning home with his firstborn child, although he was pleased by the behavior of Kamsa, he could not believe in him because he knew that Kamsa was uncontrolled. An atheistic person cannot be firm in his word of honor. One who cannot control the senses cannot be steady in his determination. The great politician Chanaka Pandit said, "Never put your trust in a diplomat or a woman. Those who are addicted to unrestricted sense gratification can never be truthful, nor can they be entrusted with any faith." Well, that's Chanaka Pandit. Chanaka Pandit's a mundane, we can say a mundane logician. So he can speak like that, but that's not in this. That's not in the Shastra. Okay. I'm just saying that for the benefit of the ladies in our audience. At that time, the great sage Narada came to Kamsa. He was informed of Kamsa's becoming compassionate to Vasudeva and returning his firstborn child. Narada was very eager to accelerate the descent of Lord Krishna as soon as possible. He therefore informed Kamsa that in Vrindavan, personalities like Nanda Maharaj and all the other cowherd men and their wives, and on the other side Vasudeva, his father, Surasena, and all his relatives, born in the family of the Vrishni and Yadu dynasties, along with all their friends and well-wishers, were actually demigods. Narada warned Kamsa to be careful of them, and Kamsa and his friends and advisors were all demons. Demons are always afraid of demigods. After being thus informed by Narada about the appearance of the demigods in different families, Kamsa at once became very much alarmed. He understood that since the demigods had already appeared, Lord Vishnu must be coming soon. He at once arrested both his brother-in-law Vasudeva and Devaki, his sister, and put them behind prison bars. Within the prison, shackled in iron chains, Vasudeva and Devaki gave birth to a male child year after year, and Kamsa, thinking each of the babies to be the incarnation of Vishnu, killed them one after another. He was particularly afraid of the eighth child, but after the visit of Narada, he came to the conclusion that any child might be Krishna. Therefore, it was better to kill all the babies who took birth from Devaki and Vasudeva. This action of Kamsa is not very difficult to understand. In the history of the world, there are many instances of persons in the royal order who have killed their father, brother, or whole family and friends for the satisfaction of their ambitions. There's nothing astounding about this, for members of the demoniac, greedy royal order can kill anyone for their nefarious ambitions. Of course, that would be occurring today. No. Kamsa was made aware of his previous birth by the grace of Narada. He learned that in his previous birth he had been a demon of the name Kalanimi, and that he had been killed by Vishnu. Having now taken his birth in the Bhoja family, he decided to become the deadly enemy of the Yadu dynasty. Krishna was going to take birth in that family, and Kamsa was very much afraid that he would be killed by Krishna, just as he had been killed in his last birth. He first of all imprisoned his father, Ugrasena, because he was the chief king among the Yadu. He first of all imprisoned his father, Ugrasena, because he was the chief king among the Yadu, Bhoja, and Andaka dynasties, and he also occupied the kingdom of Surasena, Vasudeva's father. He declared himself the king of all such places. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports of the first chapter of Krishna, the advent of Lord Krishna. So I just started reading that. I thought we could have different persons read progressively throughout the day. So the next person, we have finished chapter 1. So the next person, what chapter will they read? Chapter 2. And what is the title of chapter 2? Prayers by the demigods for Lord Krishna in the womb. And this chapter, this is a chapter which precedes chapter 3, the birth of Lord Krishna. So, there you have it. Now I'm going to sing Hari Haraya with one addition. You can get out the songbooks. We'll sing Hari Haraya and Jaya Radhe, Jaya Krishna, Jaya Vrindavan. Since it is Janmastami. But we're trying to also, this is, but first also I'll mention one thing here, which we should know. Okay, here it says, okay. Where's that little? Can I have one? Oh, there's. Oh, it's here. Here, 3 on the shelf. Okay. I just want to mention one line here from Nitai Padakamala, of course. I'm just mentioning a line.
Oh, here's one of your short class gifts?
No. It's serious. Nitai Padakamala. Ahankare mata hoya nitai para pasariya satyare satya korimani nitayer koruna habe braje radha krishna pabe dara nitayer charandukai. Mad with pride, forgetting Nitai's feet, I accept untruth as truth. When Nitai bestows his mercy, you will reach Radha Krishna in Vraja, grasp Nitai's feet. So one cannot, without Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu's mercy, no one can actually enter into an understanding of what is the worship of Radha and Krishna. So we are praying always for their mercy. Then by their mercy we can have some entrance into the service of Guru Gauranga, of our Guru and Mahaprabhu, and of Radha Krishna. And that's basically what's being said here in the Saraswati Arti that we sing here. Saraswati Arti, we're singing that. This is the vision of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And that's what's being described in that Arti. And it's how that Krishna, desiring to understand the nature of Radharani's love, what divine qualities in him that only she can fully perceive, and the happiness that she gets in being with Krishna, the Lord himself, Krishna, covered with the mood and the halo or beauty of Srimati Radharani, came to this world as Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu. So for us, as on our altar, we are worshiping Sri Gauranga Sundar along with Gandharvika Giridhari. And that is the vision given by Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. That Arti explains that vision very nicely. So now I'm going to sing first Hari Harai, and then we'll sing Jaya Radhe, Jaya Krishna, Jaya Vrindavan. So I think Hari Harai is on page 60, isn't it? Yeah. And Jaya Radhe, Jaya Krishna, Jaya Vrindavan, 230. So you'll be flipping from 60 to 230. Okay. Okay. And then we'll do the initiation. Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Jaravaya Nama Jaravaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Nama Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan Giridhari Gopinatha Madanaman Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Chandra Ganadhara Shiva Sari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Sari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jai Rupa Sanatan Mata Raguna Jai Rupa Sanatan Mata Raguna Shri Jiva Gopala Bhata Rasa Raguna Shri Jiva Gopala Bhata Rasa Raguna Jai Gosai Gauri Charana Bandhan Jai Saparikara Shishi Guru Guranga Gandharvika Giridhari Juki Jai. Jai Om Vishnu Pad Paramansa Paravajaka Charyasta Tara Sata Shishimad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnu Pad Paramansa Paravajaka Charyasta Tara Sata Shishimad Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Sachidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Rupanuga Guru Varga Ki Jai. Namachari Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Shri Rupa Sanatana Bhakta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopal Bhatta Das Raghunath Shad Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Premsigo Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Srila Krishna Kaviraj Goswami Prabhu ki jai, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai, Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur ki jai, Sri Chaitanya Bhagavad ki jai, Narottam Srinivas Shamananda Prabhu ki jai, Vishvavarenya Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada ki jai, Jayam Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Nirmal Acharya Maharaj ki jai, Ananda Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Sri Navadip Dham ki jai, Sri Mayapur ki jai, Saparshada Sri Nityananda Prabhu ki jai, Saparshada Sri Mahaprabhu ki jai, Sri Koladvip ki jai, Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat ki jai, Ganga Devi ki jai, Tulasi Manarani ki jai, Bhakti Devi ki jai, Shri Vrindavan Dham ki jai, Shri Radha Krishna Gopi Govardhan, Sham Kuna Radha Kunda Kalinda Yamuna Ju ki jai, Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai, Sripad Bhakti Chandan Parvat Maharaj ki jai, all the assembled devotees ki jai, Sri Krishna Janmastami ki jai, Sri Krishna Avirbhav Mahotsav ki jai, the divine appearance day of Sri Bhagavan Sri Krishna ki jai, Janmastami ki jai, Gaur Premananda.
Bhakti Pavan Janardan Maharaj ki jai.